Il grande Joe Pytka, qui a Cannes, presidente della giuria Filmcraft, spiega le motivazioni che hanno portato a scegliere il film Meet the Superhumans come Grand Prix.
Because it had all the elements. We chose Superhuman because it had all the elements, that technical elements intact, of photography, music, editing, all those elements, and the message was profound. It was an important message about a very important subject, and that helped elevate it above the other work. Some of the other work had the same artistic components in good measure, but when it became an issue, the subject matter and the concept made it rise above all others.
In your career, you have always told stories, very emotional stories, very involving, engaging stories. Is that the reason why you choose this commercial? Your colleagues to choose this commercial? I love the use of honest emotion in work. Honest emotion, truth. I hate to use creative person, but I don't know an alternative. Any creative person who tries to get the truth of something. Because if it's not truthful, people see the cynicism behind it, and this commercial is very truthful. It's not the kind of, if I had done the commercial, I would have done it differently. If I directed the commercial, I would have directed it differently. Why?
I would have seen it differently. There were certain things about it I would have done in my way, because I have my style. And one of the things I respect about this commercial was done in a style that I'm not in harmony with, but I respect, right? It's as if I would be a realist painter and I would respect cubism, right? Or if I was a cubist painter, I would respect abstract expressionism. It's not that profound. It's still just a commercial, but I responded to the emotional style of the piece, which was enhanced by the music and the honest cinematography, and particularly the effort that's put forth in this. One of the things I forgot to say in the press conference was the fact that the athletes competing was very, very realistic. It didn't look fake. It didn't look contrived. And that's an amazing thing to see. It was like they took real film and did it. I was astonished when I found that everything in the film was staged.
You wrote a long piece of story of advertising. Can you describe the relationship between the idea and the technology?
That's a really good question. The technology exists now to be able to complete any idea. Whatever you can think of, you can do. But we're not doing that as well as we should be doing it. There are too many things that are derivative. One of the jurors made a joke that if we see one more digital dragon, we're going to throw up. You know, everybody's doing these superhero kind of digital things instead of using digital technology in a more profound way. Now, one of the commercials I loved, and it's probably my favorite overall emotionally, is the cloud commercial for Guinness, because the technology created this vaporous thing in realistic states, and it looks absolutely real all the way through the piece. And is a character. Very much like the fabulous French film The Red Balloon by La Maurice, which is profound, simple and profound, elegant, effusive. But we're not using technology in the way our technology is, our technical abilities are at the best place they've ever been. The idea is at the worst place they've ever been. So the balance is wrong. I like everything being balanced, but right now people are depending too much on technology and technique and the ease and crowdsourcing, things like that, to do work, and it's not working.
And what about the compenetration between the TV screen, web, and social media?
That's a very interesting question as well. I've always wanted to, in any work I do, be like seen in the best venue, which is a big screen in the theater. In terms of technology, you can get a better image in your home with a big flat screen than you can get in the theater. Better sound too, more precise. Now, there's nothing better than sharing something socially in the theater, but on the other hand, the social abilities in the theater, like cell phones and tweeting and stuff like that, hurt the overall experience. So technology helps you in what you're seeing, but it also hurts you. There's all kinds of conflict here between technology and the aesthetic experience. On the other hand, I was talking to a friend of mine in advertising who said, all my life I'm trying to fill a screen with beautiful images, and now they want me to make an image on a cell phone, right? So what you have on a cell phone, you can care less. Another thing is YouTube. You look at work on YouTube and you can access almost everything that's ever been done, but the image is many times horrible, right? We struggle in cinema to make the images perfect for what we're trying to say, to the point of the lighting, where the lights hit, the quality of the light, the composition, where the people are, things like that. And now it doesn't seem to matter because it gets squeezed down to the lowest common denominator. So there's a dichotomy. Is this for... I did something, I made a big mistake recently. I shot something for the computers. And it was entered in the show. Didn't win a prize.
When?
This year. The client, I don't submit my work anymore. But the client submitted it, and when I saw it on the big screen, it looked horrible. Because it was designed for a small screen. And I was upset with myself. So where do you make the compromise? On the other hand, a client will want something more cheaply for the internet, but you still want to do the best work. So all these conflicts are buzzing around us, and it's like all these flies and bees flying around trying to attack you. You're like walking through the jungle with snakes and animals after you all the time.
So the way you directed and produced commercial is
what?
changed a lot.
Totally.
What's the future for this?
Well, I think the future is fabulous, because, especially after the judges, because we have everything at our disposal to do great work. I recently did a short film where I used small digital cameras from Canon, big professional digital cameras from Red, the Epic, and a hand-cranked film camera where you actually crank to get different kinds of film.
So it's still possible to do creative and good quality work.
Better than ever. The lenses can see better than they've ever done. The editing is easier than ever with higher image. Unfortunately, some of this good technology makes people lazy. And I go back to still photography. When still photography is difficult, when you have to go out with a camera, with the thing, and you put the film in, and you have to make the film yourself, you were careful about what you did, so you looked at something to make sure that your vision was intact. Now you just go, so maybe somewhere in between is the right way to go.
There is less money put on films.
Yeah, budgets are tiny. I think that a lot of that is the economy as well. But in order to do the best work, there should be no restrictions, and money's a restriction. I don't want to seem arrogant about that, but sometimes you have to spend money to do something properly, to make it beautiful. But when clients see excess is not working for them, then they get concerned. They say, well, we're not going to spend that much money because when we did spend the money, it wasn't effective for us. That happened in the commercial business before I got into the commercial business in the 60s. All of a sudden, television became very, very popular. Clients spent huge amounts of money on productions with very little return. So then the next decade, the 70s, they cut everything down and creativity was flat, except for the British, as I remember. For some reason, Britain did great work then. And then again in the 80s, it got back up again. But now, I'm not sure where we are.